going now?
Yep.
Oh,
So,
You're fine.
so
And
you're talking about supplementing the CDL training course with the simulator.
yeah, and actually shortening up that time. So what we're going to get is a better value, a better, more knowledgeable. Because look at, as adults, we have is it 2 minutes now attention span? We get bored pretty much after a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
So think about a classroom setting, just the skid pad that we have. If we had a classroom setting, it would it'd sound pretty exciting and look pretty exciting, but the first couple of minutes it'd be like, okay, so now what do we do?
Yeah.
And the curriculum keeps running and running and running, whereas this, you get to do it, real life stuff. If you got out of the sim, you'd fall on your butt because it's so slippery.
Yeah.
So you get the mind going, thinking that way. So what we're doing with that training class is, with the CDL, the pilot program, is we're going to have, and here's the other advantage. We're going to have one drive. After I demonstrate it, we're going to have one drive, and we're going to have 5 watch. Or 6, 6, right? 6 students all together. So then the value from what's lost in language communication will be gained in watching somebody do it. Because I feel, especially with international drivers, I feel like there's so much lost in communication. There is, because that translation doesn't fit all the time, right? And when you see, if you got to go hands-on with somebody that is one of the best drivers you've ever seen, but you have to take what to Kmart? Or you have to push the shopping cart, or what did I say? Because why that translation doesn't work. Do you speak Spanish or any other languages? Or see, and I don't either. But that translation doesn't even work for, what I'm. Watching it though, huge. Memory. I did a class about memory. Hearing something is the least effective way to remember something. Writing it down is the second, or is better. Seeing it and writing it down, or seeing it and doing it is the best.
How crucial is that to get back in the truck after the simulator and that time period in between that?
Earth-shattering.
Is it really? Why is that?
And this is why. We talked about it the other day a little bit. The industry is in a hurry to what? We want to get somebody behind that steering wheel, in that seat to steer it, right? And in the process, if basic skills are not taught correctly, we got the steering wheel holder, the person performs well, they do well, but when it comes to basic skills, why are we having all these accidents? Well, we didn't teach them. We didn't enforce that enough. What do they always say, you gotta crawl before you can walk, right? And we want everybody to walk right away, and that it's natural. It's a cost issue, and it's like the way the equipment is today. We could get anybody, literally, and I hate to say it that way, to get in a vehicle and drive it. If there is an emergency, just go start it up and press those 2 buttons and put it in drive, right? Da-da! So that's what we want to do. We want to get a better equipped driver behind that wheel right away in a faster time.
And to be able to replicate some of those second level, third level skills.
Yep. Yeah, because so a person just entering the industry want to do this. They want a job. They want to travel. They want to drive a vehicle. The opportunity. You guys are way over the top as far as an opportunity. Seriously, I think for anybody wanting to get in it. I hear it so much here. Nobody would hire me without experience. Nobody would hire me because of not having ever been in a truck or not having a CDL even. And you guys are you offer a lot of opportunity, whatever that word would be. I'm probably,
Well, I mean,
you know what?
It truly is. I mean,
So with that said though, you're still gonna, you're not stupid, so you want something in return. You want somebody to, you want a driver, you want to create a driver well, hopefully, and you want to have that driver forever, you want to retain that person, right? If a person they're not going to pick up skills, basic driving skills, driving, which is going to sound really goofy, because driving is from point A to point B, right? And that's what they do. The job is so cool that you guys have, that you offer people. It takes 3 minutes, excuse me, it takes 3 minutes to load the truck. The driver sits in the truck. It takes 3 minutes to load, right? They drive whatever, a half an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, and it's all determined ahead of time. They get to the plant, it's 90 seconds to unload, and then again, so it doesn't get any better than that. That's the best there is.
In the trucking world?
Nothing's like that. Nothing. Because you avoided all the route. First of all, when you get in a vehicle with a load to deliver, you have to know where it goes. So then you have to figure out the route. You're responsible for that load until it gets to the point. So if you get detoured or bad weather or delayed or whatever, you're responsible. In a sense, a driver is responsible. So when you get to the site where you're going to unload at, you're still responsible. So you got to unload that, whatever kind of product it is. If it's livestock, that's good. If it's liquid, that's good. But if it's any other commodity, which is so common, we're a consumable nation, you'd have to unload it.
You got to back it.
You got to back into a dock. You got to
check it in.
And you're responsible.
You might have to move it
by hand. Plus, you're responsible for that 48 boxes of Cracker Jacks that got delivered. There's only 47. Now what do you do? Well, a box of Cracker Jacks is only $94. So we need a difference. My paycheck was only $94, right? I mean, when you think about that, that's a problem. So you go on to the next place you got to deliver, and so the hours are expected to be long, in the industry. That same person, that example, that's real life. I mean, you're responsible, whatever you're delivering. If it got lost, miscounted, stolen, you're still responsible, You're not. You have a lot of those. They don't count the sugar beets.
One thing you said before that I picked up on. You said, I asked you. I said, what do you think that one of the biggest things that Trans Systems has to offer? And you said, I think you said consistency.
Another thing. That's huge. That's huge. Any industry, when you're traveling on the road from between customers or between loads, the inconsistency is weather related, equipment related, all the factors, things that you have to use to get this load delivered. Well, if we have a vehicle breakdown, then if it can't get fixed, then we can just put another truck there. The trucks are all identical, which makes that a huge convenience, because you can go from, it doesn't make a difference, whatever number it is. It might smell a little different, it might be a little different, it might be a little newer, but they're all exactly the same. consistency is huge. So if weather equipment, schedule, because look at schedule. If the roads are icy going to Hamilton, or it's snowing, they got 10 feet of snow at this one site. Okay, let's go to this site for a while. Let's change. I think the term is distribution that you guys use, and I think it's great because what will that do? Well, that keeps the plant happy, and the beats coming in, and the driver happy. So everybody's happy because instead of doing, 2 loads that are 500 miles or whatever, you're doing 5 loads that are 200 miles. I mean.
Right. I like that.
Oh, that's huge because you're always going to get a minimum of a week done. I don't know of anybody that's complaining about not having enough work to do here. I never heard that yet.
No.
And on that same thought, another benefit you guys have, e-logs. And I don't know if you're familiar with that at all. E-logs are normally the responsibility of the driver to log. Set regulations are that you can only drive so many hours in a day, so many days a week you can drive so many hours, by the Federal Highway Safety Administration, right? With e-logs, it's totally paperless, and the company monitors that. Like, hey, John, when you come to the yard, you're gonna be at the end of your 10-hour break or 14-hour, whatever it is. So what, so I guess you're done for the day. Rather than being out on the highway and getting pulled over by a DOT and saying, hey, John, what gives here? You made a mistake.
Driver's responsibility, driver's fine.
Yeah, totally again. Another expected benefit, and they don't have to, they're not responsible for turning them in, for signing them, turning them in, and all that stuff, because that's all done electronically, and that's a benefit. So there's a lot of the job is simplified because it's so predictable, and it is. Is it an entry-level position? Could be, because you gave them that opportunity. Is it where you could stay for a career? I've heard people here, even international drivers, for 18 terms or 18 years they've been here.
Why do you think that is?
For all those things we said, the expectations. You can go to, let's say you're hauling a product for a manufacturer or for a factory, and down the line of the chain of that's involved as far as ordering products, somebody goes out of business or or it shuts down. Well, we're not hauling to that customer anymore. There's, so the predictability is kind of went out the window, because now I'm going to be, I'm not going to get a week's work in.
Right.
And that's more common than you'd think. Or a company goes with another carrier and you lose that customer. I don't know if that can happen here.